According to modern dictionaries, a factor is a circumstance, event, or fact that interferes with a decision-making process and in one way or the other influences or contributes to the outcome. This must be how the term influencer came about. It refers to a popular person, usually with a large fan base, mostly on social media, who encourages their followers to patronize the brand or business they are advertising. This is done in exchange for money or some other type of benefit, of course. The Jesus factor is simply the influencer in the life of a Christian. It is the reason he behaves a certain way. It goes beyond religion and spirituality and all the going-ons within the four walls of a church. It is an all-round, game-changing innovation. Here is how it works. Jesus made a huge sacrifice, born out of love for humanity. He laid it all down, his life, his respect, his kingly place in heaven, his family, and all the comforts he could have had while on earth. He gave it all away so we could have it all. When we accept the love he offers and enter into a relationship with him, old things pass away and we get a new slate to start life all over again. Everything about us changes for the better. It does not only make a physical or mental difference, it puts a godly spin on our life's principles and the set of rules we live by. As necessary as the Jesus factor is for good living, fulfillment and contentment, it is entirely a product of free will. It is not forced on a person, but comes only by choice. The question is not how effective the Jesus factor is, rather it is if and how you will choose to factor him into the equation of your life. The Jesus factor is not a secret. It cannot be hidden for long. It announces its existence through our lifestyle. It is a new culture. It is evident in how we speak, how we react to provocation. As an elected or appointed leader, or a boss at your workplace, or as someone that coordinates a group of people, the difference between your regime and others is the integrity. As against the do as I say, not as I do mindset, you practice leadership by example. Corruption is not tolerated under your watch. The people who work with you sit up, not because you preach to them, but because they are afraid. In all your relationships, the dynamics begin to change. Any connection that does not reflect and strengthen your values as God's child cannot help but wither away. It's a natural thing. Darkness and light cannot coexist in harmony. Not everyone can be your friend. But this is not to say that you stop being courteous and polite. And neither does it mean that you look at them with disdain or as less deserving of God's love than they are. To truly love God is to love people unconditionally. Also important is self-love. The Jesus factor bolsters self-esteem. It makes you see yourself through the eyes of God as a force to reckon with, a blessing, a priesthood. Even our attitude is not immune to this 360 revolution. People will immediately notice that something has happened, and it does not take much guessing for them to connect the dots and trace the change to the actual source, Jesus Christ. In Acts chapter 4, two men were preaching the gospel of Jesus' death and resurrection with so much passion and energy. Verse 13 captures the reaction of some of their listeners. Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were uneducated, common men, they were astonished, and they recognized that they had been with Jesus. It may have been out of character for both men to possess such boldness. They may not have had all the qualifications the world required, but it didn't stop them from functioning as vessels through which the good news was propagated. In fact, the scripture records a great harvest from the evangelism they did that day. People turned to God in thousands. This empowerment comes by the Holy Spirit. The Jesus factor drives away shyness, intimidation, and timidity. It gives you both the words to say and the boldness to say them. When people see it, they wonder and may be impressed, but there is an immediate recognition. It speaks for itself. Do people see Jesus in the way you behave? Do they hear him through your every utterance? This calls for soberness and deep reflection. Another very lovely thing about the Jesus factor is that it works behind the scenes also, to turn things in our favor. Generally, when our thought process is enlightened by the knowledge of Jesus, we start to make better decisions for our careers, businesses, health, relationships, academics, and resource and time management. We begin to apply godly wisdom. As a direct result, things work out for us. The Jesus factor is that push in our spirit, that motivation to do more. It is that idea that clicks in our head. It is what attracts good things to us, a favor magnet. It breaks cycles of disappointment and failures. It is a spiritual trigger for blessings. It creates access to greatness. It translates the atmosphere around us to one of positivity. It puts testimonies in our mouths. When men complain of a casting down and all we can see is a lifting up, it is not luck. That is Jesus at work. It is He who lives inside of us that governs and empowers this change. It never runs out or loses its validity. We should all connect to this influencer.